So now let's get started with the Uniview side of things. That's why all of you are here. Let's look at the agenda currently. So we're going to talk about Uniview, just a bit of a background about Uniview. That's going to be super quick. We're going to talk about all the current solutions and offerings, as well as the new Uniview solutions and smart features. And then we're also going to talk about video compression, why it's so important, and then best practices. And then lastly, we're going to just look at why Uniview. Okay, so a bit about Uniview. So Uniview's main thing is they are actually in Shenyang, China. That's their main headquarters. That's where everything gets manufactured. They were actually the pioneer of IP surveillance. They were one of the first IP manufacturers in China. They're now currently the third largest surveillance manufacturer in the global market, covering over 145 countries worldwide. And then they've got a nearly 100% annual growth rate in the overseas market. They've got 13 years of IP, 13 going on 14 years of IP surveillance experience. And then 15% of their revenue is invested back into R&D in order to ensure you the best products possible. In regards to the Uniview Industries, the brand relatively covers it all. You can find Uniview in the education industry, banks, airports, casino, entertainment, neighborhoods, agricultural sectors, homes, industrial sites, shopping malls and parking lots, enterprise buildings, retail environments, and then obviously the healthcare sector. So there's so many solutions. There will definitely be a camera and an MVR for your specific solution. Again, awesome. So let's look at our current product range, what we are currently offering. And first of all, obviously IP cameras. We've got NVRs, network video recorders, video doorbells, VMS systems, accessories, and then obviously Uniview PoE switches. So just to go into a deeper in the series as well, we've got a Easy series, Prime, and a Pro series within the Uniview range. So all these series support Ultra H.265 video compression technology. Your Easy series that's more your entry-level products, your more cost-effective MVRs and IP cameras. The Easy series normally come with a 1-year warranty. The Prime series is more a sophisticated, for the sophisticated and more prime level applications. The Prime series normally supports all the smart features. The StarView series, they've got a 2-year warranty, and they're more used in your project-based scenarios. And then the Pro is your VMS systems or your Pro cameras. They have a 3-year warranty, and that's basically all in one. They will always support all the smart features, everything that you need. Again, awesome. So just let's look at what we are currently offering before we get into the new cameras and new releases. So within the Bullet IP range, this is obviously for outdoor applications. We've got the mini Bullet camera, which can do obviously an IR of 30 meters, and it's IP67, meaning water resistant. We've got a normal Bullet camera with a standard fixed lens with a IR of 50 meters and IP67 rated. And then we've got very focal motorized Bullet cameras, which is quite popular in the market because very focal basically means that you can set your view of angle from a 2mm lens, which is a wide view of angle, to a 12.5mm lens. So you can set it between that from 2.8 to 12.5 millimeters, from a wide view of angle to a more focused view of angle. And that's quite popular because you can do it remotely because it's motorized. Okay, and then we've got optical zoomed Bullet cameras, which can do, which has the capabilities to do up to 200 meters of infrared, and then they've got a 6.5 to 143 millimeter lens, almost PTZ-like millimeter lens standards. The next one is the dome IP camera. So we've got the mini dome cameras, the fixed dome cameras, very focal dome cameras, the eyeball dome cameras, and just another sort of eyeball dome camera or panoramic camera. These cameras are perfect for indoor applications and some outdoor applications, most of Uniview's dome cameras are actually even the more cost-effective entry-level dome cameras support IP67 and IK10. IK10 being vandal resistant. So just follow up with your sales guy in regards to the dome camera that you take. In the old days, the domes are mostly used for indoor applications, but I mean, all the new domes that's released supports IP67 and IK10 ratings, which makes it perfect for outdoor applications. Okay, awesome. Next one is the PTZ IP range. So we've got indoor mini PTZs, which is brilliant. It gives you a lot more control for indoor environments. We've got outdoor mini PTZs, which is just growing tremendously in the market at the moment. We'll talk about this specific range later on in the presentation. And it's brilliant because it's brilliant priced, and it is now there for the residential use as well. It's super small and compact. Then we've got obviously bigger ones, 22 zoom, 20 times optical zoom. It's not even on this slide. This is just a drop of what Uniview can do. There's a 33 times optical zoom, a 44 times optical zoom, and then there's even positioning systems for those very, very far applications where you need to zoom in up to 1 kilometer or 5 kilometers even, depending on your application once again. Okay, awesome. And then in regards to panoramic cameras, they've got a 4K Starlight Omniview network camera. It's a very popular camera. This camera actually supports full 4K cameras in one. It's perfect for wide open spaces because it has a 180-degree view of angle. And it's really 180 degree. We tested it, we tried it, we loved it. It's perfect because you can actually use this in parking lots and integrate this specific camera with a PTZ camera that supports auto tracking. So the norm is to install PTZ camera with auto tracking, but the problem with that is as soon as the PTZ starts auto tracking a car or a person or whatever, it loses sight of what's behind it. Where this is perfect because it still gives you that 180-degree view of angle, and the PTZ will obviously then be connected to this specific camera and zoom on that specific person or car or whatever. And it still gives you no loss of sight. So yeah, basically it's 4 cameras in one, give you a wide view of angle, and it's perfect for wide open spaces, airports, parking lots, and so on. There's a short video of just how this would basically look. Obviously, you can set smart intrusion prevention. Sorry, not smart intrusion prevention, but cross-line detection on this as well. And as soon as a person, and if it is connected to a PTZ, as soon as anybody crosses this specific line that is set on this Omniview camera, the PTZ will follow that specific person. Okay, so it's a very, very niche and exciting solution that they released. Then we've got the 4K cameras, 4K fisheye cameras, like we know it as. It's basically, sorry, I don't know why this happens. This. Okay, let's go on. I'll try and go back to that specific slide. But this is just your fisheye cameras that can split into 5 different screens for indoor applications only. It's perfect because basically it's 4 cameras in one. You can split into different angles. It's brilliant because it gives you a full 360 degrees at 4 other different angles. Sorry about that. I don't know why this system is glitching at the moment. But yeah, that's your fisheye cameras. They support 8 megapixel. It is brilliant. Please always just remember that the NVR that you buy has to support dewarping. Dewarping mode on the NVR itself in order for the camera to dewarp in different angles. Okay, and then moving on is the home security video doorbell. So this is a new release that they did late last year. And it supports a 2 megapixel, it's a 2 megapixel Wi-Fi connected IP camera. It's obviously 2.4 gigahertz. It supports two-way audio, IP67, meaning waterproof. It supports an SD slot of up to 128 gig, which is perfect because if there's a loss in connection, all your footage will be saved on the SD card slot, the SD card. And then it's got an infrared of up to 5 meters, which is perfect because, I mean, it is front door environments. It has customizable motion zones. It has instant alerts and then interchangeable faceplates, as well as the best thing is you can add it to your existing Uniview system, NVR system. So basically, it is connected via Wi-Fi, but connected to your router and then allocate that specific IP address to your NVR for it to add to your existing ecosystem. Again, and then obviously you can manage everything from your Uniview mobile app as well. In regards to network video recorders, we've got exciting video recorders, affordable video recorders, network video recorders. For all these IP cameras, we've got a 4, 8, 16 channel, 32 channel, 64 channel, and 128 channel. Please ask your sales guy just to get the pricing on these because they're very good, they're very affordable, and they support a lot of exciting features. We've got MVRs that support up to 16 channels of PoE, 16 ports of PoE. And then we've got obviously the different ranges. We've got the entry level one up until your high level Pro series as well. Next one is the VMS system. So this is very exciting. So we have the Unicorn and the VMS-V800-A. So basically what this is it's going to manage all your devices from one central platform. So you've got a client, you've got 4 different houses. There's Uniview cameras at each house, installed at each house, and you install this Uniview Unicorn at your headquarters, and you will be able to manage all your cameras from that specific site. They do have SATA slots. So the Unicorn has built-in SATA slots of up to, I think, 16, if I'm not mistaken, which can be used for storage, but also remember it has a bandwidth limitation of 512 megabits per second, meaning you relatively can record up to 250 IP cameras for one Unicorn, and also, once again, well priced. Then in regards to the PoE switches, we currently support in the Uniview range a 4-port PoE switch, 8-port PoE switch, 16 and 24 port. The nice thing about these switches is they support up to 250 meters of transmission distance on the surveillance mode, which is just a click of a button. Also, they've got 2 uplink ports, one for the NVR and one for the router. And then lastly, we've got the Uniview accessories from the junction boxes to the wall mount brackets, to the pole mount brackets, to everything that you would need. And if you don't have it, we'll bring it in. Everything that you would need in order to complete your surveillance solution. We've got the Uniview keyboards, hard drives, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's look at the new arrivals. So basically what we're going to cover in this section is we're going to look at all the new features and cameras that will change the surveillance industry as we know it. Okay, and we're going to start off with obviously deep learning facial recognition, which is becoming super popular in the surveillance market. Smart intrusion prevention, which is by far the most effective, smart, affordable smart feature in the market. Light hunter technology, color view cameras, and then active deterrence cameras. Okay, so let's start with the surveillance industry challenges. So what does your everyday installer struggle with? Weak scene adaptability, too many false alarms, and low image quality. So what did Uniview do? They released the AI IPC cameras that supports deep learning technology, built-in deep learning technology. So there's an AccuSight, DeepSight, and AlphaView. The AccuSight is obviously your more economical one. It supports loads of different features within the camera. I'm going to go to all the features now. So it supports built-in AI, smart intrusion prevention, light hunter technology. We'll get into light hunter in the next slide. Edge storage that we've got built-in SD slots, true WDR, wide dynamic range in order to make sure that your image quality is perfect. They've got alarm inputs and outputs, IK10 rated the lenses, IP67 rated, and they all support, obviously, like every other Uniview camera, Ultra H265 video compression technology. The Deep Sight series is a bit more advanced. They support smart intrusion prevention, deep face capture, and people counting. We're going to talk about smart intrusion prevention in the next slide, just to explain it properly, so just for you to use it in the right way as well. And then the Alpha View just supports everything from face recognition to smart intrusion prevention, people counting, and many more. That's your top of the range of the Uniview, basically the flagship products of Uniview. But even the Echo Sight, for what you can do, you get all these features and more, even a further IR with the bullet cameras on the Echo Sight series as well. So it's you get bang for your buck when it comes to the new series, the new AI series from Uniview. Let's start with facial recognition. Like I mentioned with the facial recognition, I hope you can see this video. This is very popular in the surveillance market. There's a lot of end users that doesn't understand facial recognition. So how it basically works is you have your facial recognition camera, you've got your facial recognition MVR. So even though you bought the camera, you don't have your own database. You have to build your own database. And then from there on, blacklist and whitelist faces, you can obviously do stranger alarm, target search, VIP recognition, but you have to import a certain image as well before that can be successfully recognized. Okay, and then obviously it supports wide angles for successful recognition, and can, even if you wear glasses or hats or change your appearance, it will still pick you up. So we do have these facial recognition cameras and MVRs in stock. They're quite popular, and obviously the deep learning technology is in the camera and the NVR. And believe it or not, it's actually quite affordable when compared to the other facial recognition solutions out there. The next one is smart intrusion prevention, and this is probably one of my favorite features. So obviously the principle is motion detection. It detects anything that moves in that specific area. So what smart intrusion prevention is, it only detects humans, vehicles, or non-motor vehicles. It does target identification, and if it's not one of those categories, it will ignore it. And this helps obviously by reducing false alarms. It helps you reduce storage and bandwidth. So it's really beneficial for us to use. It has a false alarm rate of under 1%. And then the nice thing about the smart intrusion prevention is you use it with standard smart cross-line detection or intrusion detection. I would say the cross-line detection feature is a bit more accurate because it takes away that opportunity for with intrusion detection, you draw an entire block, and if anything moves in that block, it will detect it. But obviously with smart intrusion detection, it will ignore it. But once again, you want to help the camera. You want to improve the entire system. You don't want to go against it because that could cause a false alarm here and there. I would suggest use cross-line detection, and you will definitely get the lowest rate of false alarm. Also, you don't have to choose between one of these, the people, vehicle, or non-motor vehicle. You can use them either separately or in conjunction. So basically meaning if you want the camera to be on the lookout for a human and a bike, you can set it like that. If you want it to just be on the lookout for vehicles, you can set it like that as well. So obviously no pets, won't detect any pets, won't detect any bugs. So that is completely a thing of the past. And to event retrieval is very important because there's a human file and vehicle files, and that will help you reduce the searching time. So once again, you can use smart intrusion prevention, which is on all the IO series, that entire series, the Echo Sight, Deep Sight, and Alpha View. And it works with cross-line detection, intrusion detection, inter-area or leave area detection, and it will be on the lookout for vehicles, non-motor vehicles, and humans, obviously. Okay, awesome. Let's look at what that Echo Sight. So Light Hunter is basically Starlight. It's the entire Echo Sight, Deep Sight, and Alpha View series supports Light Hunter. So basically what it does is it takes a dark picture and converts it into a more lighter version. And this is very effective because this is, for example, say around 7 o'clock at night, this obviously converts it and it looks like as if it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the daytime. And that helps you, that helps the camera to be so effective with the smart intrusion prevention. So all of that series, that entire series supports Light Hunter. Okay, so let's look at the new and coming soon. So the first of all, that's the ColorHunter. So this is quite exciting for the surveillance industry because I think it's going to change a few things. It is coming soon. We're going to stock it as well. So that's basically a bullet camera. There is a dome camera as well, a eyeball camera. That's a 5 megapixel WDR wide dynamic range, obviously to clear up your picture. ColorHunter deep learning bullet camera. That is the code of this specific camera. It supports up to 30 frames per second, 5 megapixel. It has 2 LED lights with an IR of 30 meters. It supports, like I mentioned, deep learning technology, smart intrusion prevention as well. Basically looking out for vehicles, non-motor vehicles, and humans. And it is quite cost effective for the camera that you're getting. And also, it's IP67, obviously rated in IK10. But the thing that makes this camera so special is it gives you, believe it or not, 24-hour, 24/7 color image. Sorry. As you can see in that image below, this is the ColorHunter. This is a normal IPC camera that switches over to IR. There's no lights or nothing there. This is really in darkness. Darkness gives you a color image, which is once again good. I mean, it goes hand in hand with the smart intrusion detection to just help you reduce that false alarms even more. Okay, so that is coming. That is going to be available very soon. So be on the lookout for that. It's on the price list. It's everything. So if you do want any prices on the ColorView camera, please just ask your sales guy. Then, that's probably the most affordable IP camera in the surveillance market. And this is very exciting. This is called the A series of Uniview. And these cameras are really, I think, the highest prices for an installer is up to 450 bucks. You know? So it is super, super cost effective for an IP camera. And this is now for those clients that don't want to go over to IP because it's too expensive. IP is not expensive anymore. The reason for this is, I mean, the NVRs are extremely affordable. So now you can have a powerful IP system at a fraction of the price. So let's look at the cameras, what they offer. The A series, this is your bullet camera. So it's a 2 megapixel IP mini bullet camera, like you guys know it. It's 30 frames per second, a 4 or a 2.8 millimeter fixed lens. And it is IP67 rated, meaning water resistant. It has an IR of 30 meters still. So it's not lacking whatsoever in the performance of the camera itself. So it gives you a very good, robust, and reliable IP camera. It's PoE powered. It supports motion detection, sorry, not intrusion detection, but basic motion detection features. But normally, when you buy these cameras, you would normally buy them for 24-hour monitoring. You're not going to use them for motion detection features because it is going to cause false alarms. For those more sophisticated applications, you're going to go for your AI series that can do smart intrusion prevention. This is just a basic, nice, affordable camera for content recording. And then obviously it supports Ultra H.265. We'll go into Ultra H.265 in the next slide. It's very important if you have an application where you want constant recording. Again, and this is the dome cameras, relatively the same 2 megapixel IP mini, sorry, not bullet camera, dome camera. Those are the two codes. It will end with an A, so it's an A series, both the bullet and the dome camera. We have it also supports 30 frames per second. It's a 4 or 2.8 millimeter lens. It's IP67 rated. It's IK10 rated, even the dome itself, which means vandal resistant, IR 30 meters, and PoE powered, and it also supports motion detection and Ultra H.265 video compression technology. So before we go into the video compression technology, I think this is the second last product that exciting product that we released just recently. This is the Mini PTZ camera. This is also a super affordable camera. It's now there for the residential market, for end users to play around. Everybody wants a PTZ, but not everybody can afford it until now. So these cameras support a 2 or a 5 megapixel lens. There's a 4 times optical zoom. Well, they support a 4 times optical zoom motorized zoom lens from 2.8 to 12 millimeters. It's powered by, it also supports LightHunter technology. So like I mentioned before, I'm going to clear up that picture. So if there's any light source, that's what LightHunter does. If there's any light source nearby that can help the camera to create a nice color image, it will do that. Obviously, once it gets too dark with the LightHunter, it will switch over to IR, infrared. It supports smart intrusion prevention, two-way talk, and auto tracking. Remember, it's for residential areas, so you don't need to zoom that far in. It's more for close quarters. But it has an IR of 50 meters, so that's pretty far. It supports a red and blue warning lights, well, built-in red and blue warning lights. So if there's any motion or any humans in a certain area, those lights will go off. And it also has 2 strobe lights, actually, which is very impressive. You guys can actually go and check the videos out on Uniview's YouTube page. Please feel free to do that as well. Very exciting cameras. The bracket itself is also included in the box. It's PoE powered, power over Ethernet, and it supports a micro SD slot of 256 gigs. So it's one of the most exciting cameras that Uniview have released in the past year. It's very interactive. It actually has two-way, like I mentioned, two-way talk. You can set up a specific voice to tell that person, even if you're not available, to get out of that area. So it's a very exciting interactive camera that they released, and it's all IP based. And once again, it is affordable. Now everybody has the ability and the chance to buy a Uniview PTZ camera with a fraction of the price of what is out there. Best practices, like I mentioned, residential markets, schools, business parks, and parking areas. I mean, you can use them at more robust areas as well. It is a robust camera, but best practices are your more close quarter outdoor range. Again, very exciting, very popular, and selling crazy. We are currently stocking these at the moment. And then a very exciting camera that Uniview is releasing soon in Q4 is the Smart Wireless Cube camera. So this gives you 1080p HD video. It supports 1080p HD video, dual-way talk, human body detection, actually even, high-quality night vision, Wi-Fi connected. It does support an SD recording slot. If obviously the Wi-Fi goes down, all that footage will be recorded on the SD card. It has a magnetic base, so much easy to install. And then you can watch, I think the video is on YouTube as well if you want more information on that. But we are going to start bringing it in. It will be available soon. Just be on the lookout for that. Okay, so let's look at Ultra H265. And this is a very important slide because it's going to help you guys not only save money, but it's going to help the clients save money. It's going to help them save on bandwidth, storage, and it's going to increase their backup days. The Ultra H265 is an enhanced encoding technology from Uniview that help you to reduce your bandwidth consumption and storage, like I mentioned, to roughly 80 to 95% without any loss of image quality. So let's look at H.264. So that's H.264 video compression. That's more your standard where what everybody's using. Uniview is mostly, H.264 is mostly used by, if you mix brands, then you would normally use Ultra H.264. H.265, as you can see, is already a massive improvement to the older H.264 video compression technology. It almost reduces that bandwidth consumption and storage rate by almost 50%. Ultra H.265 is just that step further. Remember, all the Uniview cameras support Ultra H.265 and H.265. So it's just a click of a button on your Uniview system at the end. Okay, so basically, let's compare it. So the first one is, so how do you activate Ultra H.265? It's basically H.265 plus Uniview's unique algorithm that they created that gives you Ultra H.265. So the picture on top is a good example. That is video compression on H.264 for a normal standard 2 megapixel mini bullet camera. Okay, the frames per second, well, the second one is on Ultra H.265, and as you can see, the bit rate for the H.264 one is 4 megabits per second per camera, which is quite high. Ultra H.265 is 128 megabits per second, almost 90% of the reduced rate. The frames per second is still the same, it's both on 25 frames per second. As you can see, there's no loss in image quality. The resolution is exactly the same, and there's no packet loss rate. Once again, there's no loss in image quality. Once again, it's such an important feature that's not being fully used out there in the surveillance market, because instead of giving your client 10 days of backup on H.264, if you just set it on Ultra H.265, it increases that backup day by 25 days. That's a lot. That's a good upsell method that Uniview provides their clients. Okay, so let's look at, once again, advantages on Ultra H.265. It saves you bandwidth, it saves you a lot of storage, and it saves you cost, because you're not going to need, if you're working on a tight budget for a specific project, put it on Ultra H.265 and save from, you're going to need 80, previously you would have needed 8 terabytes of hard drives. Now you're only going to need 8. So it really helps you save cost in those tight projects that has very tight budgets. Okay, so let's just look at your 2 best practices. We currently support a wired solution with your IP network. We only really support IP surveillance. We do have a hybrid system as well for your analog, or if you want to convert analog to IP solution. But the first one is your CCTV wired solution. So you've got your IP PoE switch, you've got all your PoE cameras, and that is connected back to your switch, to your NVR. Your NVR is then connected to your PC or whatever management system you want to have there, and that's connected to your video wall or monitor. From the NVR, it's connected to your router to give it internet, and then you can actually manage every single camera from anywhere in the world by EZView, your mobile app, or your EZ Cloud, your video management system. Again, so that's basically your wired solution. It's super easy. So for example, a couple of PTZs the higher end PTZs don't support PoE power over Ethernet, The reason for this is because they've got a high power consumption. Most PoE switches can't handle that, but the new mini PTZ, like we just spoke of, supports PoE. And that is connected directly to the switch. Okay, next one is wireless solutions, which is also quite popular. So let's, for example, say this, like for instance, this is a campus. You're not allowed to trench cable whatsoever. And obviously you don't have the time, the team, or the money to do that. It's a tight budget, and your client tells you you need to do this within this time, but you're not allowed to trench. So all you do is add a nice wireless easy solution. You've got your sector, or you can do a point-to-point, but most of the time, if you've got more cameras, you just add a sector, base station, and a CPE or subscriber unit, as most of you know it, at each camera. And that feed will be sent back wirelessly, that video footage wirelessly, to your main base station, which is connected to your switch or NVR, and then you can obviously live view it from anywhere in the world, if it is connected to the internet, of course. But yeah, this is your wireless solution. It is very effective. It's very effective because it helps you save time and helps you reduce costs, because I mean, cabling is also quite expensive, and you can also only cable cable cameras at short distances. I think the furthest distance for a IP camera to use is around about 200 250 meters, depending on also what PoE switch you use and what cable. Again, and that's your wireless solution. Also, I've got a very good surprise for you guys. If you have any projects, if you've got any big projects in the pipeline, we've got this now on our website. Submit your project there. Include your name, your number, everything there, your company, your email address, so I can contact you, and then add your products or similar other brand products even in that specific box. And then I'll give you a call to help you get project pricing, to help you make as much margin or win as many projects as you can. This is very good. It is available. Please use it. It's the Uniview project portal. It is on our website. So all you have to do is go onto brands, go to Uniview, and just click on project portal, and then submit your project, and I'll give you a call back. So that gives you a chance to get much better pricing for a specific project. And then lastly, why choose Uniview? Simply because Uniview supports a wide variety of high quality products for any application. They've got the complete video surveillance solution like we spoke about. They've got a 2 megapixel to a 4K cameras depending on your specific application. They've got cameras with different lenses that are available that's more focused or wider view. So once again, depending on your application, they support bullets, domes, fisheyes, PTZ controllers, switches, NVRs, and all sorts of brackets. They've got great features such as Starlight and also Light Hunter and WDR in order to give you great quality footage at all times. They've got free high-end software. So this wasn't mentioned in the presentation, but Uniview software is free to download, and all the updates are completely free. So that's also a major benefit. There's no headaches, no monthly fees, no nothing. Up to 3 years of warranties, depending on what series you take. We've got great support, local and international. They all support Ultra H.265 video compression that helps you save on bandwidth and space. Great pricing, meaning more profits. And then also they support all premium smart features like we spoke about. And then lastly, the brand evolves and innovates every day, every week, every month, every year. So there's always going to be new Uniview products be available in the future. It's a very innovative brand, and they're growing tremendously within the South African and the African market. And then lastly, it is easy to use. It's plug and play. It's still on BIF. So if you have a client that wants to convert from a different brand to Uniview, they are still on BIF. So please remember that when you inform a client about compatibility of the existing IP surveillance system. It's just the other brand needs to support on those capabilities as well. And guys, that is that for the presentation. I thank you. Thank you so much for joining. I see there's no questions. We do have time for questions. Is everybody fine? If you do have a question, just pop it in the chat box and I'll get to that. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me your time. I hope it was informative. I hope it helped. And I hope you try out the new solutions that we have. Thank you.